man. We back with another episode of the Zaybeck Podcast, and you know I'm about to talk again. So today's episode, man, we got my boy Jack, the Jack of All Trades, man. Say what's good to him, my boy.
What's there? What's up? What's up?
All right, so before we start off, just tell them a little bit about yourself, man.
I'm Jack. I consider myself a professional image enhancer. So like, I cut hair, take photos, and sell clothes. Those are all items that are like, enhancing someone's image. So haircut, you gotta have that to be clean. Clothes, you gotta have clothes to be clean, and then pictures. Yeah, for sure. And I talked to him.
The boy just got me sliced real quick, man. I appreciate that, boy Jack. All right, so we're gonna start off a little bit. We're gonna talk about the barber life, man. So how'd you get started cutting hair?
So I had this homie. He cut hair, and like I was always interested in it. Mm-hmm. So I was like, man, you know what? Like, I could. You feel me? Like he could do it, so I could.
Yeah, I could do it. Yeah.
So just like try. I'm happy that I had some other homies that was like, you could try it out on us. It's cool. It fucked up a couple heads early on, and then just trial and error. It got cold, and now I'm here.
Facts. That's crazy. You said you messed up a couple heads. I tried to cut hair. I tried to cut my brother hair. Mm-hmm. When I was younger, man. I was like, right before I went to school, I'm like, I'm about to cut hair. I'm about to get everybody right, because it's Oshkosh.
Yeah.
Pushed him back. That boy got up and didn't even speak to me. Haven't cut hair since, so I commend you on that.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
So, when you start cutting hair, what made you feel like, okay, I could actually start to make an income from this?
So, like, whenever I seen, like, how essential it, or I wouldn't even say from, like, cutting others' hair, like, seeing how essential it is personally,
mm-hmm.
like, you feel me, like, I feel like it's in high demand, and then too, like, yeah, it's something that you have to have often, so it's, all that is just opportunity, for growth.
Facts. People always gonna need their haircut.
Facts.
I like that. So I know all barbers have this, right? So what's your pet peeves about cutting people's hair? Like, what's some of your pet peeves that irritate you the most when you cutting people's hair? I would say there's hella shit, but like
probably I got a top.
Name your top three.
Okay, top three. Okay, so I got one thing I hate is you had pulled it up earlier. Had a concrete head.
Stiff neck.
Yeah.
Neck. I was trying to
trying to. You feel me? Like if you getting your haircut, you should want to. Okay, turn your head this way. If I say turn your head this way, you should be open to turn your head. But some niggas, they want to be so bad. So that's one, and then two. What's another one? What's number two? I would say, all right, so I know I'm not ever on time, but like, you feel me? I'm providing a service. So
right.
The client not on time, that's like number two.
Yeah.
And then number three, whenever a client, no. This is actually number one. So
switch it up.
Number one is when niggas be like, staring in my eyes when
I'm
that's weird. That's weird as hell. Like, that shit weird. So, yeah, that's number one, though.
Okay, so those are three?
Yeah, that's my three.
See, every time I try to come get my hair cut, first thing I always try to do, I try to make sure I wash my hair. Mm-hmm. Gotta wash your hair. Yeah. I feel like that's just haircut etiquette.
Yeah.
And then, second thing, I just try not to make the eye contact. I just feel like that's
Yeah. Like, if we chopping it up, cool, but if I'm edging you up and you...
Right. Is it irritating when people try to coach you through a cut?
Yes.
You have that a lot?
I don't have it a lot, but like, I've had a couple clients where it's like, they swear they cut hair so bad, like they just want to tell me exactly how to cut their hair. Like, you don't cut hair. You don't know I know what I'm doing. You don't know what you're doing. Just sit down, chill. Like, get you ready. That's
I feel
it.
you. I feel you. So, what do you like most about cutting hair? We talked about the pet peeve. So, what you like most?
Facts. So I would say like how people how people act like after they got their haircut. You feel me? Like niggas be feeling themselves.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Every time you cut me up, I'm about to run a target for no reason after this. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So like bringing that confidence to like the other person and just that's everything. Like,
that's smooth, bro. What's the biggest challenges about cutting hair?
Biggest challenge about cutting hair is I wouldn't say challenges. Are you saying early on, or are you saying like?
Yeah, early on in your career, or you can see currently.
So early on is having that clientele that's gonna say, okay, you can try it out.
Right.
Because clearly, like, you gonna suck when you start. So that's hard early on, and then currently probably you said the opposite, a challenge, the biggest challenge. Okay, so currently the biggest challenge is probably I mean, I don't know, just like it's not really challenging, it's just really like it's not something that's currently challenging, I don't think. Like
right.
I think the only challenging is pet peeves I have.
Facts.
I don't really have nothing where it's like challenging now. I feel like it's all
on those pet peeves. You ever like speak on it during your like when you have a client in your chair? You ever like speak on it or address it?
Yes. Like I'm not gonna, you feel me, because I am providing a service. Right. So I'm not finna just, hey my nigga, like get right. At the same time, I'm finna like if I'm trying to turn your head some a little bit, and like you don't want to go, I might get strong with you.
Muff that little nigga.
Yeah, I might get strong.
I feel where you come from. So nowadays, like, cause my girl, she do makeup, and with people, they entrepreneurs, you know, you gotta adjust your prices and everything.
Yes, facts.
So when do you get to the point to where you know it's like, all right, it's trying to up the score, it's trying to raise them prices?
I say whenever you start seeing like you don't have time to be if like you don't have time and be charging $20 a cut now. Like early on, I had time to because I was trying to.
So real quick, your first price was $20.
No, $12.
$12?
Yeah, I was charging $12.
You was looking like that, full cut.
Yes.
Okay.
And I was getting them in all day. Like I'm cutting
non-stop
all day. Yes, but like I just seen that like I can only cut, let's say 20 heads a day, right? Yeah. So like now I got hella clients trying to get haircuts. Yeah. So like I don't have time to be charging $12. Now I gotta up it to 20, so it's gonna kill off some clients. But I'm only Jack. I can only do 20 heads a day. I can't.
Yeah, you can't do. Yeah.
So it's time to up it. You feel me? So that's just every time. It's that same concept. Just every time, like I don't have time to be charging this no more. I can't be. You feel me? So
I feel you.
Up the scope.
So it's gonna be the last question till we move on to the next thing you do.
Say this.
So what's your long-term goals when it comes to cutting?
So with cutting hair.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second.
Pour up.
Before this very clear.
Pour up.
Let it get out. No. So with cutting hair. So like I said, like I know I'm a single person, so I could, like I said, you know, I can only cut, let's say 20 heads every day, and then I can only charge, you know, so high. You can only charge so high. So I think, like, you saying future, like
yeah.
I guess, okay, so
like what's your long-term goal?
Yes,
like,
long-term, I see it like opening like a hair salon. So like I didn't say barbershop, I said hair salon, because like a barber, you can only charge, you know, so high for a single haircut. Right. But if, you know, hair salon, that's still hair, and it's still enhancing to someone's image, and but it's like female's hair.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a higher price point type. So I just kind of want to just open a hair salon. To answer that question, Rick, long term.
All right, so let's.
Well, actually, hold on. Let me change the answer.
Go ahead. Do what you gotta do. Hey.
So hair salon, that's not really anything that's too long term. That's
Right.
like
The near future.
I feel like I could like achieve that within like let's say 5 years.
Okay.
But long term, like opening a hair school. So like
Okay.
so like to have like accept like have a place in Houston that like I could have gone to when I was trying to find like a hair school to go
Gotcha.
to. Except I'm trying to open that in Houston because I'm having like I told you I haven't said this out publicly, but I am trying to go to San Francisco, a hair school out in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's a top of the line hair school, but Houston doesn't really have anything like that.
Right.
That also accepts veterans and stuff like that. So it's like, same thing just in Houston.
Okay.
So, hair school.
Okay. That's
Long
smooth,
term.
man. So now let's talk about the brand, man.
Okay, yes sir.
Y'all see it in the back. Y'all see it on my chest.
I see it on his pants.
Come on, man.
Come on,
Base
man.
company, man.
I'm
So,
glad I got it on me.
how did you come up with the brand, and how did it when did it start?
So
And what's the name behind it? Like, let's
okay.
go into the gist of the brand, man.
So Ace, it started September 2018. At that time, I just had like hella shit going on, and can I curse?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead. You go. Talk your shit.
I mean, I don't know if it's gonna censor it out.
Yeah, nah, you good.
So so I had like hella shit going on, and like I was always interested in having something started, like like a business of some sort, but I just didn't never know like what exactly I was gonna call it, what I wanted to do, like exactly. Excuse me. And I was always into clothes. I thought having clothes like a clothes brand was so typical.
Right.
So I'm like, man, everybody got clothes. But that also applies to everything that you do in life. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm interested in driving trucks. Like 1,000 niggas in trucks. But that's not saying that you shouldn't drive trucks. Though. Yeah, exactly.
That's just like with Cheerios. It's like 80 different brands that make the same Cheerios, but it's a different name behind it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, I was always interested in like something, but I just didn't what I was like. I was gonna create, and then like, just like I'm thinking like, damn, like, okay, I have all these interests, but like, I'm just kind of all over the place right now. So I'm thinking like, okay, in order to do anything great, you have to have a solid, solid foundation.
Mm-hmm.
So a synonym to that is base. I'm like, ever since then, I just ran with that.
Yeah.
And but September 2018, that's when I started. That's how come I call it that. And then basically, it's a clothing brand, but like it's a brand. Just it's not. Wouldn't say just clothing brands. It's a brand in general.
Right.
Nike, Adidas, all the brands. Yeah, base, exactly. So it's not really. I wouldn't say clothing is. I mean, that's what I've always said. This is what I'm starting off as with clothes. I'm only growing from here to go to different avenues.
That's smooth, man. It's a nice brand, bro.
I appreciate
good
it.
quality. Y'all see the hood, man. This good quality.
Come on, man.
Shout out my boy. So what's some of the biggest challenges to have your own brand?
I mean, so that's something else. You know how I said, cutting hair is something that I haven't really
Your
had
pet peeves, yeah.
Yeah, but like, and then two challenges, but like it's like a skill. Cutting hair is a skill, so you're so cold at it. Okay, I'm able to cut hair with my eyes closed. But with clothes, it's like there's always something.
Right.
So hold on. You asked challenges.
Yeah.
Early on.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what you be probably been facing now.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So it's always something with clothes, cause like, or not even clothes, because like it's with clothes. Early on, figuring out shit that I was into, cause I'm like I'm hearing others saying, "Oh, you should do this, you should do this." So I'm taking it all into consideration. Yeah. And I'm trying to do everything. I'm all over. So now, over time of just having my own shit, is just like really like I'm not listening to none of that shit that everybody's saying. Yeah. I'm doing my own thing. So, yeah, just kind of like ask challenges. Okay, so early on, that's a challenge on how should I do everything, or I don't have a certain item that I like to sell, or avenues I'm trying to take. Now, challenges is really how to grow, just how to grow, and like, just growing. That's really the only. Everything else, I feel like
you be handling it pretty well. So, say for example, you got an order come in, right?
Right.
And somebody ordered this size, and you ain't got that size no more. And you didn't go online to say it's sold out. How do you go about that customer service issue right there?
So, I do that a lot. So I do that a lot. Like, I'ma always show love in the end, because I know that it's not like it's like everyone's ordering from Amazon now. So like, and they're ordering shit and it's coming in 2 days. So if I'm not doing that same thing, then I'm off. So since I am off, it's not it, because I be off. So since I am off, I know I'm gonna add in an extra t-shirt or like some pants or something extra to just kind of say, hey, like, I'm sorry that it didn't come on time, but you feel me? You got that extra shirt.
That's some good customer service right there.
Appreciate
that's some good customer service.
And I'm gonna do it every time, because like, I know I ain't going 2 day shit. Sometimes I can, but just like we're having other hustles and stuff like that. It's kind of juggling. It just kind of becomes like, it's just, what's the word for it? Like, just timing's off sometimes. So yeah.
I feel you. So what motivates you to keep the brand going? Because most people that got a brand, they don't keep going. After the year, they give up, they quit. So what motivates you to keep going with yours?
Because of how I came into it. Because whenever I created, like I said, I was just having like a bunch of things going on at the time. So I'm just like, I'm not trying to get back to that. Yeah. So like, to stay away from that, I'm gonna do all I can to keep this going and keep pushing and keep climbing.
You freaking should. So when you coming up with merch, what's the creative process behind that? Where you get that? What inspired you to come up with those ideas?
Hold on, I'm sorry. Ask that again.
So when you coming up with your like merch ideas, like for example, this hoodie, these pants, what's the creative process behind that? How you be coming up with your ideas?
So I feel like just like stuff that like really, since it is clothes, like early on, since I am heavy on clothes, it's just items that I would like to have on and I would like to wear every day. Yeah. Like truly, because. And like it's like simple. It's not doing too much. It's not. Yeah, it's not. That's also something else I would say. So like, I know early on, I was like trying to. I'm gonna have the hardest image on the shirt. That's like, if you're trying to come every single time with the hardest image, like, you gonna wear yourself out. You know what I mean? So it's just having something simple that you push it, but it's quality.
I feel
what
that.
I mean?
Yeah.
Over trying to
quality over quantity, man.
Yeah.
All that.
And then too, I think it's easier to push something consistent if you ain't trying to score like a touchdown every time. Right. You just 10 yards here, 10 yards there. Yeah. 8 yards here, 8 yards there. It's not, damn, we finna come with the hardest shit every single time. Like, I don't be on that.
That's crazy you said that. It's this Will Smith book. He talked about this wall, right? Yeah. And he used an analogy. And him and his little brother had to make a wall for their dad in his store. Mm-hmm. But they kept complaining about the wall. They was thinking about the wall.
Yeah.
And Dad had overheard him. He was like, "Hey, I'm tired of y'all complaining about this damn wall. Just focus brick by brick."
Dude, like literally. Facts.
So once they start focusing brick by brick,
Right.
it started to become simple. So that's same
Yeah,
process
okay.
like you. Instead of getting to
Yeah.
the touchdown, taking
Yeah.
yard by yard, it's gonna become simpler.
Facts.
So now, so you come up with ideas for your brand, right? Say for example, Nike or somebody big was to offer you a creative director role. Would you take that role? You think you could do something like that? Would you ever do something like that if it was to come?
I am interested in something like that.
Uh-huh.
It depends on who it is, and then too, it depends on who it is. But like I am interested because I feel like, you know, since I've had it, I said September 2018 that when I created whatever, or not whatever, but September 2018 I created it, and then so like I only have, let's say, 3.5 when it comes to branding and clothes sales and like production and all that. So like a brand that's older, maybe created in like the 1800s,
right?
You know what I mean? Or 1980, who's a higher, they have a higher budget, you know, for everything. So just having same control, but you got to work hard to come and play with now instead of just your own like couple thousand.
Yeah,
you feel me? So it's
I
like you got 100,000 put on the order now, and you got plugged. You know how I was saying earlier, like I'm trying to move into, you know, overseas and stuff.
Yeah,
like, I'm just entering that, right?
Right.
So let's say a brand that's older has the plug on
pulls everywhere.
overseas, so I got access to all this shit now. So now, I'm finna turn it up.
Yeah, I feel what you're saying.
I'm interested in that. It just depends on who it is, because I'm not just gonna turn up for
anybody.
Yeah.
Okay. So I asked you what was the goal with cutting. What's the goal behind the brand? I know you mentioned for it to just become a brand, but like, where do you like? What's your end goal with the brand? Like,
so that's something. So like, cutting hair. That's like, I see an end because I could, you know, like I can see an end with that, you know, the school, with the clothes brand in general. I don't really see an end. Like I don't really see an end goal because I don't really, you feel me? I don't really. I'm not gonna.
Well, let me rephrase that. So
like a ceiling on it type.
You no ceiling?
Yeah, no ceiling. Like literally. So if I don't know, like I could say that I'm interested in something, but excuse me. I could say I'm interested in something, but I know like time. Like I have time. You and I, like our age, or you know, 20s,
right?
Type. Let's say in 20, or like in our 40s. You know what I mean? So it's like hella shit can happen between here and 20 years. So it's like I don't really see no ceiling. I don't really know. I just really want to just take it every day, just go as hard as I can, and just.
So, P Diddy had, what was his brand?
Sean
John. He sold it.
Yes.
And then bought it back. Would you ever come to the point where you would sell your brand? You ever think about that? Somebody put $1 million offer on the table in your position right now.
So I don't think I would sell it. Basically, in simple terms, I don't think I would sell it because just like creating it, starting this, seeing it grow in such a short time, it's really. I trust my own self over anybody else.
Yes.
So like, yeah. And then if I'm hungry to eat or get a check, I'll go do something else. You know what I mean? Like,
facts.
I'm gonna keep that growing like a child. You know?
Yeah, keep that growing.
For sure.
So let's jump into the next rapper. I'm telling y'all, this man do it all. So let's talk about photography.
Say less.
How did you get into the photography space?
So I tapped in because I was you know, I started the clothes 2018. I started cutting hair 2018. And then just like I was always hiring people to shoot and shit for me. and like it was either like it'll come out trash, or like it would take too long to you like have them send it over to me. It was just always a hassle, like, and then also cost because I'm paying them every time I'm hiring like whoever. So it's like, you know what, I can do this shit. Like, I have a good eye. I see the shit that I'm trying to accomplish. So I'm just like, I'm gonna just start shooting. So that's.
And then you said you've been doing it for 3 years too, right?
So I started shooting after I came home. So like August of 2020.
Okay, bet. So what was your favorite shoot you ever did?
Favorite shoot? I had a couple. I don't know.
Top three then.
Top three. So I would say number uno is on Tolliver. I was my homie. Shout out to F. He
Don Tolliver, the guy that make the swinging on Westheimer.
Yeah, swinging on Westheimer.
He's like, okay. We just let that slip past us. He said that time Don Tolliver. All right.
No, Kizzy. So like I have a homie. He's like personal camera guy. I would say because he like shoots for him like just often, and then two music videos and shit too.
Okay.
My homie shoots for him. So he was having a concert here in Houston, and the homie was like scoot up and shoot for me, or like to help us out. Because he was following him, and I was like in the actual crowd, but I was in the like a close like. And the crowd is like right here. I'm ahead of the crowd, so I'm in the open little area right there. So like, that shit was cool because I'm like. It had all just happened so quick. Cause he had asked like that's eight prior, and I think I was in LA, and I came home at same day of the actual shoot. I flew into town, and then a couple hours later was at the hoe, and then I'm just like, when he came out, I'm like,
that's crazy.
And I'm like under him, like legit the only person. Everyone else like, you feel me? Crowd like behind me,
gate barricaded.
Yes, tight.
Crazy.
So I'm just like under this man. I'm shooting, and I'm like, wait, this Don Tolliver. That's crazy.
So I said, what's yours is mine. You go crazy. Alright, so what do you like better? You like editing the photos or actually shooting them?
I would say shooting, cause like I try to do all I can with a camera prior to shooting. So that afterwards I don't have to do a bunch of like, too heavy of editing, because I don't like editing.
Right.
I actually hate. I don't hate it, but it's not my thing.
I feel you. Now we're finna get into this question, right? So you do photography,
right?
You cut hair, you got your own brand, you do all three of these things. How do you juggle all three hustles? How do you do it?
Really just like time and planning, like planning out your time and shit, right? And then two, since they all go hand in hand,
right?
So, like I said, enhancing a person's image, I try to keep it only those three. I try to see it as that. So I'm not switching it up and changing and hitting something else. It's all within the same alley. It's just like it's like a different service. So time and planning, really though, that's key.
So do you recommend, like, I remember when we was at the old apartment, you had this whiteboard. You still got that whiteboard around?
I do have it. I don't have it here. But yes, that whiteboard.
It's key.
Yes.
Put people on with what was going on the board.
I would say if you have any kind of, if you are like motivated, if you are trying to achieve something, if you are hungry to achieve, I would say for sure get a board. Like any size, like you don't be no huge shit. I would say huge. I would say to have something huge, so that you are seeing it every day. and that it is something that's just up, just hanging up, and that you have to see it. So it's like saying you have to achieve every check, like your whole checklist that you got type. So on it though, I would have goals for like 30 days, and then I'll have like tasks that I would have to achieve for just a day. So like put your 24 hours a checklist and your 30-day checklist.
That's nice.
And just have like an overall, have like an overall goal for like, let's say, or not even a goal, just like I would say mindset.
Okay.
On top of all your goals and your checklist, I would say have a mindset that you're gonna have all throughout the whole thing.
That's smooth, having those small attainable goals and then that large goal at the end of the day.
Facts, that's key.
That's key. That's key. So, with you doing all three, right? Photography, cutting, and having a brand, would you say sometimes one carry the load for the other? So, say for example, you ain't got a photo shoot, you know, in 2 weeks. Yeah. You say cutting hair pick up the slack and the clothes pick up the slack? How? Yeah. Explain that for people like.
So up until 2022, actually. Just up until just
really 26 days in.
Jeez. Up until 2022, I can honestly say I was doing all three every single day. If it's not every day, it's almost every day. So it's not like everyone always asks me that, like, how do I? And I don't know. Right. I really don't know. Like, it's just I was doing all three every single day. Somehow, some way, I'm gonna shoot some photos every day. I'm gonna chop someone up, even if it's just a haircut. I'm gonna cut somebody today. Yeah. And then I'm gonna sell some clothes. Somehow, some way, it's gonna be online or in person. Yeah. It's gonna happen today. So that was happening up until 2020. Up until 2022. I would say just like I would say if something is slowing up, I'll try to or 2022 I am trying to, I would say, have the clothes kind of take over at primary income. Yeah. Since it is kind of passive, since it's online. Right. And everything else is kind of like I have been slowing down on shooting and cutting hair because I just upped the scope on them boys. Right. And then with shooting, I just haven't posted. It's so crazy because if you on IG and posting and this and that, you gonna have people hitting you up. I just stopped posting on Instagram, and I haven't had nobody really hit me up.
So speaking of, while we talk about IG, with you being an entrepreneur, you got all those things going on. Do you think that play a huge role? Because you said when you haven't been posting. Yeah. Yes. All social media in general. Yes. So when you're not active on social media, do you see a decline?
Yes. That's what I was trying to do. That my whole goal was not my goal, but I was took some time off to really just really recharge and really keep my mindset together because I know 2022 is just gonna be crazy. Right. So so I quit posting and I got off of IG for a couple days and literally my phone was dry. But I was cool with that because that's what I was intending to do. I just wanted to slow down on shit. I didn't want to shoot nobody. I didn't want to cut nobody here. I just wanted to
be to yourself.
Myself, right.
That's important. That's the mental jazz. Getting some mental time to yourself.
Okay.
So, how do people reach out to you to get their haircut? How do they buy the clothes for the brand? And how can they book a shoot with you?
She's like you said, it's so informal, but I would say that number one is Instagram.
Instagram, okay.
_ at DEJACK.
I'm gonna tag it at the
_ DeJack.
Simple.
So that or shooting and cutting hair is really on Instagram, and then a clothes site you can tag it in the.
I'll tag it.
Acecompany.shop though is the site.
I re-tag it on my story all the time.
Facts.
I'm finna get to the point where all wear is base.
Honestly, you're like a sight. All right, so that's something else. Like cutting and shooting, like I haven't really put it like I said, clothing is over all that.
Right.
So I'm up here with the clothes and shooting and cutting hair is like really something I'm just only taking on IG because like I see that I have such a crazy schedule that I can't really just schedule and say, hey, you know, come here and say that you'll get your hair cut here at a certain time because I know I could have that up. I'm not gonna pay attention to it because I got other shit going on, and I'm gonna end up going out of town. You gonna have your haircut schedule, and I ain't gonna get to it.
Yeah.
So I just kind of like, just Instagram. Really, just Instagram.
I ain't gonna lie to you while we talking about the haircuts, man. This boy had did me bad one time, bro. I forgot what weekend was this. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. It wasn't his fault, but his finger had got jammed.
Oh yeah.
And it was some type of, I don't know what, it was a holiday weekend or something.
Yeah, it was something.
This boy made me go to somebody. Oh my God, we ain't gonna talk about that. Boy got pushed back, my boy. But we ain't gonna talk about that. Jay, he got me right. He fixed the line the other day, but we ain't gonna talk about that.
I'm sorry that had to happen.
That's cool, bro. That's cool.
I was hurt. I was out of
It's cool, bro. It's cool. So what advice, now these last questions, for people that's looking into getting into either being a barber, want to be a photographer, or start their own brand, what's some advice? Just go down whatever you want to start with, whether it's barbering, you know, doing your own brand to be a photographer. Get some tips and advice on where to start.
So let me start off with cutting hair. With cutting hair, if you are interested in cutting hair, like it's really cutting hair is just something that you just kind of gotta do.
Right.
Like you just gotta jump into it. You are going to fuck somebody's head up. Let me just say that you're going to fuck somebody's head up. Literally a couple times.
That's facts, cause I done did it.
Like you just gotta do it. And then two, like with that, whenever you are cold or cutting hair, like after that, like whoever is into cutting hair or they are cutting hair currently, but you're having issues kind of growing, you just kind of post like consistent content and always put yourself out there, really.
Yeah.
So that's with cutting hair. And then with shooting, I would say that's something else. You just gotta kind of trial and error too. You just gotta get out there and shoot.
Facts.
Really. You said what?
Yeah, classes.
Classes? Oh. I mean, with the cutting, I'm gonna sell courses, but the classes, I'm interested in the classes and stuff still, but I'm just like timing wise, I'm gonna create a course on cutting hair and just like sell that. But I'm not trying to sell that to everybody. If y'all wanted to tap in, we could do that. But you feel me? So, but shooting though. With shooting, I would say just get out there and shoot, and that's really it. Because honestly, like I got some great opportunities. I got some great opportunities shooting, and I'm early on. I'm talking, like I told you, like I started shooting like August 2020 when I came back to Houston.
Right.
So off of the shit that I was doing, just like I said, shooting, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. Like, I had a cheap ass camera. I mean, not cheap, but a cheaper camera.
Yeah.
And I was just shooting every day because I'm like, it's like cutting hair. I'm gonna get cold.
Eventually.
I'm gonna get cold eventually.
Yeah.
So yeah, just getting out there and shooting. And I was in places that I didn't think I was gonna be in because I'm just every day, just out there shooting.
It's a bless.
And then with the clothes. Man,
I feel like everybody waiting for this one. There's so many people.
So be consistent. Like consistent is everything.
Yeah.
Consistent, that's everything. That's like number one. Like that's number one. And then two. Number two with the clothing is like really slow down, like,
Yeah.
and like over just, I say slow down to say like it's hella friends out here. It's hella people trying to do the same thing. But like when you slow down, like you're not trying to keep up. You're not trying to
Stay
fit
away.
in or this and that. Like you just really like slow down and really just like just slow down. Really
Stay
at
away.
your own
Move
pace.
at your own pace, man.
Move at your own pace and like your own at your own pace and your own creativity. Really, because like some people are like, oh, like I said, some people, I want the craziest image and this and that. I want to have this and that detail, but it's like if you try to do that every time, like you gonna wear yourself out. So just really try to keep it consistent, keep something simple, consistent, and that's your own vision. And like and those three things will take you a long way. I feel like. I'm not kidding.
Alright, so what would you tell people? What's some advice for people that's trying to, say for example, somebody trying to do all three, or maybe they do different things. Maybe they paint, they carpenters, they a plumber.
Yeah.
What do you got? What's some advice with people juggling, different
hustles?
Yeah.
So with that, I would say, I would make sure they kind of coincide with each other. And then if they coincide with each other, try to coincide them together somehow. Like get them together somehow. Like if you are doing, let's say, cutting hair, try to have you feel me, like at your area that you are cutting hair, try to have your clothes hanging up somewhere because oh, what's this? Like, oh, I also sell clothes too.
Yeah.
Now if you let's say you do two things that are totally opposites from each other, like say you will cook and you a plumber,
Don't go head to head.
I mean,
Cooking some bullshit. Get that? Y'all, you hear that? You hear me? Bullshit. Cooking bullshit.
Yeah,
Cooking up some bullshit with that one.
But like, if they don't coincide, so try to have them coincide.
Right.
If they don't, or if they coincide, try to put them together somehow.
Okay.
And if they don't coincide, if you are trying to juggle, like I would say, really just a plan accordingly. Like, so plan ahead because it don't coincide. You're gonna have to have time to do each one. So plan accordingly.
Bet. So I got two last questions for you.
But prior to that, prior to those two questions, I just want to add on too. With like cutting hair and shooting, like I do. So I have had shoots and I have had like haircuts afterwards that I like didn't plan accordingly. And I had a client trying to get a cut. I'm here all the time. I'm at a shoot, so I'm like, you feel me? I always plan accordingly. I just want to emphasize that because I know I haven't. Like there was a couple times where I was trying to have them coincide and I didn't plan accordingly, and it ended up, client. I ain't talked to him since.
Right. Oh, damn.
That's what I'm saying. So just want to plan accordingly and then coincide.
Bet. So with those juggling, multiple streams of income, what trait you say is the most important for entrepreneurs that's doing that? What trait do they gotta have? Like what skills do they gotta have?
This you gotta your biggest trait. You could have 1,000 skills. You could have you feel me, 1,000 skills, but number one trait that you gotta have is like self discipline and also motivation. Because with like IG and socials and stuff like that, people try to go and like get validation from like Instagram posts. So they want to go. Let's say, oh, I post a picture, right? I only got 200 likes. Damn, this must not be a good picture. Like, man, it's not it.
They start archiving it.
You feel me? They start but you gotta tell yourself that you or who you are, because shit, if you don't tell yourself that, if you don't tell yourself that, you're not telling others that, and so others are not seeing that.
That's fact.
So like, if you telling yourself that I'm the shit, I'm telling everybody I'm the shit. So you saying it so much, I'm like, dude, he probably the shit. You
right?
Because
no,
he done said it like
1,000 times. Okay.
He is the shit. He's saying it so often. I think he is the shit.
He done engraved it in your mind.
So you gotta tell yourself that first, like. So that's trait number one, because you gonna have times where you're not gonna have others to always, tell you, oh, you're doing a good job, or
Facts.
you're gonna have like slow days, or you're gonna have times where you don't make any cash for, let's say, a couple of days. But you just gotta tell yourself, yeah, I'm still that, and you feel me? I have something planned in store. It's just you don't see it right now. You think I'm not on shit because I ain't posting on Instagram. But the whole time I got a whole plan. You feel me? So I'm
moving in silence. No kidding.
You gotta tell yourself that. That's what I'm trying to say.
No, I feel you. That's the same thing with my podcast. I just started and everything.
Okay.
I ain't getting the most views, but I gotta keep being consistent.
Yeah,
So come eventually.
Yeah,
Yeah, so facts.
You gotta tell yourself that, because if I don't tell you that, like, and you don't tell yourself that, you gonna be hurt, cause
facts.
damn, I ain't getting no views.
Gonna be
like,
unmotivated.
Yeah, like
you don't wanna quit.
You scared, like. Yeah, like you just gotta tell yourself. You gotta tell yourself that, and then after you tell yourself that, others gonna see it, and then they gonna get on.
You know what I do every morning though? You say that?
What's
I
that?
do positive affirmation. So every morning I tell myself I'm at the top podcast in the world.
Yes.
Speaking to existence, you gotta manifest it.
Okay.
But if I'm manifesting it, I'm not doing nothing behind it. If I'm not recording these podcasts nonstop, I'm never gonna get there.
Yeah.
Just like with you, if you're not doing those shoots, like you said, if you're doing shoots, you got a brand, you gotta keep dropping that merch. You gotta keep doing those shoots. You gotta keep cutting those hairs. People hair, because if you're not doing the consistency, you're never gonna see results at the end of the day. So
I would say, tell yourself, I would say positive things, and then two, consistency.
facts.
That's a key trait that you really gotta have. Even if you're not doing 100 push-ups every day, if you hitting a push-up every day over you just hitting 100 every 100 days.
Yeah.
You feel me?
You're gonna see the results
eventually.
eventually.
If you're doing it every single day over you just one time. Let me hit one with
That's facts. No kidding.
So
last question. Before you got into entrepreneurship, you didn't just, just dive right in it, right? You just didn't dive right in it. Because it's people that's probably working a job.
Yeah.
They probably stuck in a contract or something.
Yeah.
What advice do you got for them? Because I'm pretty sure you didn't just wake up and was like, I'm about to just start going at it. You had to be getting some sort of income at one point in time to where you was like, all right, now I could do something to replace this. What gave you that motivation, or what motivated you like, let me stop doing this. I can't do this no more. Let me dive right in. For the people that's stuck in a position where they want to get into entrepreneurship, but they don't know where to start.
So how I started. Really. Hold on. I'm sorry. That's the last question, right?
Yeah, it's the last question. And then you can end it however you want.
Okay, babe.
So, you didn't just, jump right into entrepreneurship. You had to be doing something before you got into entrepreneurship. And there's people that's listening, probably work a job, they probably in some sort of type of contract, they probably feel stuck.
Right.
What made you, get out that comfort zone and take a chance with yourself?
So basically, how I ended up taking that chance is because I just had trusted in the vision that I had. I seen something, like I said, that only I seen, because at this time I think I sounded crazy.
Yeah.
And then I saw it first, so that's number one. And I trust my own self. But to actually jump in, I would say I had saved up a good, like I had cut like hella heads, I had sold hella clothes, And as I was at my other job, my contract I was stuck in.
Right.
But we're not gonna get to that.
We ain't gonna talk about
We're
that.
gonna talk about the Navy for now. But I was stuck in a contract basically. So I'm like, okay, since I am here until August of 2020,
You made that your deadline.
yes, exactly.
Create
Create your deadline. Create your deadline.
Create your deadline. Is that
Be
simple?
like, this is when this shit. This is when I'm going in for like head like.
Full throttle.
Yes, exactly. So set your time, and then do all you got to do until then to save up
Say that pay.
and to get all your credit or and shit all handled and paid off,
Yeah,
so that you can jump in comfortably.
gotcha.
You can jump in at any time.
Right, but be smart when you jump in.
Yeah, be smart when you
That's
jump
just like
in.
if you don't know how to swim, you ain't gonna just jump in the deep end. Even though they advise that, but when you're an adult, you're not gonna jump in the deep end. You're gonna take baby steps to get
Yeah.
there. Jump in 3 feet first, and then once you got that plan, you feel safe. I see what you're saying.
Set that deadline though. That's
So
I would say
that deadline is the most important. Right
the
there.
answer to that question is that deadline.
Yeah,
Set that deadline, cause after that you ain't got no choice. You ain't got no choice.
facts.
So do what you gotta do until then.
All right, you got anything to say before we wrap this up, man? You wanna-
Anything to say as in anything?
Follow
Yeah.
you? Anything? What you was just saying?
Okay, bet. So basically, what I would say to any, I would call it to any creative, because everything I do, I feel like it's creative. You know, cutting hair, selling clothes in order to create the concept, that's creative, and then cutting hair, that's art.
Right.
Creative. So any creative out there that's interested in anything, and creating anything, if you don't do it, then do it. It's gonna be ugly. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna suck early, but you just gotta do it. And that's really it. Just really because I couldn't have achieved anything that I have achieved if I didn't start and get ugly.
Facts.
You have to get ugly first.
Facts.
So just get ugly real quick. Everybody, let's get ugly. Honestly, since starting off, I would call it getting ugly. Our goal of 2022 is actually I'm getting ugly this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I am good at everything that I am currently in, but I am getting ugly at the same time.
Facts.
So just to kind of just get ugly.
Get ugly. Alright, man, listen. That was episode 3 with the Jack All Trades DeJack. Listen, I'm gonna say it like this, man. Be base, because when you base, you gotta start from somewhere.
Facts.
So
Okay.
be base, man. But I'll be back again with the Zaybed podcast, and you know I'm gonna talk. Talk. Yeah. That was good, bro.
Appreciate you.